We've got Kimi Gargos. I've sent you an invite for a speaker. Hey, crypto bitches, you're invited as well. I should not really refer to you by the project, but more like the woman behind the project. I think that's what we want to hear, right? So yeah, let's. Hey, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Excellent.
Yeah, this is Alyssa here. Yeah, I was like, should I go off of my other one? But no, I love our crypto bitches. Please, you can refer to us as that.
No, it's
That's fine. My name's Alyssa. No worries.
yeah. Great to meet you. It's because we only met yesterday, right? So I forgot your name for a second.
That, that-
But hi, Alisa. Great to have you here. So we have Bex from Nifty World, who is our keynote speaker, I think, because I mean she's amazing. BBC ex BBC presenter and influencer, or yeah. But let's wait maybe just a couple more minutes. So I will. Yeah, so we've got Cyber Cosmos World as well, which is great. Yeah, so let me add you as a speaker as well. And then we can start by maybe doing a round of introductions, and yeah, we can take it from there. So yeah, should we start perhaps with some introduction on our side? So I've got our artist Sylvia here from Rogue Fox Guild that will kind of represent us and talk about us a little bit before we get some more people in. Perhaps it's a good way to start like this. And then yeah, we'll have quite a great, amazing project here that I would love to hear your perspective on the topic of International Women's Day and inclusivity. And I also actually want to give shout to Ryan, airmac.eth, who is from Ethermon. And I love them because they're also play to earn gaming project. But I love their community, super inclusive. And I just want to hear, it'd be good to get all perspective, right? So it sometimes feels that it's only women, and I think I do feel that there should be more rhetoric that just includes everyone, because I feel that the awareness should be beyond just female circles, right? It's about raising awareness for everyone. So yeah, I think if we start by Sylvia just doing a quick intro on us while I keep sharing this event.
Yeah, absolutely. Hello, everybody, and welcome to all the ladies that we have here. Happy International Women's Day. For us in Bulgaria, this is something that's really big, and everybody knows this. We all celebrate the holiday here, and it's something very special. And for us at the Rogue Fox Guild, essentially, it's also a very special day because we have our mint that essentially is going on right at this moment. So it's very exciting. A lot of things happening at the same time, as always. So I want to start out by, celebrating the holiday and wishing all of you lots of health, lots of inspiration, lots of ideas, and lots of success in this space. So basically, as Anna said, we are open here to everyone. Let's not keep it for women or men. Let's talk about inclusivity in the space, as this Twitter Spaces is basically named after this. So a little bit about our project, and let's start off from the idea that me and Dana have known each other for basically forever, I feel, since we were shaped as individuals, or we kind of helped shape that. So we are best friends, and this is now translated into our project as well. So it has this core in its center. Not only it's female led, but it's also about friendship and doing something cool together. So essentially, our project is structured around a play to earn game that we are now developing. And we have made 10,000 procedurally generated foxes that you can now go and mint. So basically, these foxes will be your key to the upcoming game that we are building. And the project itself, I think, is very aimed at its best. So we have an upcoming platformer game that we want to release in the future months to come. So we are working on that at the moment. The platformer, you can see just a glimpse of it and our idea in our trailer that we released. So it's going to be pretty straightforward. It roguelike mechanic for the platformer. Then apart from that, we will be building a top-down open world where you can go and play with other participants and enjoy an open experience in the game, and defeating bosses, having airdrops. So a lot of cool things happening, as well as an in-game market, trading, and loan to earn mechanics that we want to set up in the game. So we have a lot of things coming up in our roadmap. We are looking to also make an animation. We have been talking about developing the story more and making comics that are kind of referring to the background story of the whole theme. So from my perspective, as you can see, I'm leaning heavily towards the idea of this being a story-driven artistic project, and we are really keen on sticking to the 2D indie feel for the whole theme of the project. And yeah, we're really excited on working on this, as well as working with our community, having a lot of cool things that we do there. And one of those cool things is actually we are now making a raffle giveaway for our minters, and for them I have made a unique piece of art that's our female goddess Foxy, essentially. And yeah, Anna can give more information on that giveaway, but I'm really happy that today is the day that we are basically doing this. And yeah, Anna, I think you had enough time to post the links while I'm talking.
I haven't really posted them actually because I was listening to you and intrigued by what by our description, you know. But yeah, just a quick summary on the female Foxy before I give the floor to our honorary speakers today. And we have a couple more joining us, so yeah, thank you for that. So yeah, the female Foxy, which we now actually called female no Foxy Goddess, to be more inclusive. Sylvia, I hope you're not hating me for that. But I really felt that the community said, why female Foxy? Maybe Foxy Goddess, right? It's a beautiful looking thing. So well done, Sylvia, on doing this. It's just so amazing to see. And it does add femininity to our project, which it's a longer topic, but our project is definitely our artwork, should I say, on the game, and it's inclusive. It's not about gender. It's beyond that. It's very inclusive. So but yeah, I let's not let's give the floor to our speakers because we have a lot of introductions to make. So yeah, I think if we so we have a few more others. Maddie from Angel Alliance. We've got Gimme Gargos. We have Ankita from Cosmos Cyber. Lisa from Crypto Bitch NFT, and Sad Crown Collective just joined as well. Seal Club joined. So hello everyone, great to have you here. I would love to give the floor first to Bex because obviously we've worked with Bex and just really admire their work and professionalism in the NFT space. And I know she has a lot to say about her experience in the industry, right? In terms of inclusivity and women and then beyond. So hi Bex, how are you doing?
Hi, Anna. Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on this amazing day and amazing panel. Thank you so much. It's a real honor to be up here with such incredible women, celebrating incredible women. congratulations as well on the continuation of your mint. It's been a real pleasure to work with you guys, and it's been really great to see beautiful artwork, amazing gameplay, and also just, you know, an incredibly professional team as well behind this project. And I think it's, you know, your continued success will be a testament to just how hard you guys are working. And, you know, from that point of view, it's always really great to come and support and see how you guys are doing, and to celebrate all of your amazing wins as well. For anyone who doesn't know who I am, hello, lovely to meet you all. I'm Bex. I run Nifty World NFT, which is not an NFT project. It is an educational resource for both new and existing digital wallet owners. So whether or not you are new to the space or you've been here for quite a while, we put out lots of useful, we hope, content on YouTube. You can just go into YouTube and type in Nifty World NFT, and you'll come and find our videos, which kind of make NFTs easy to understand. So there's everything from a weekly Monday show, which rounds up all the biggest movers and shakers in the space and all the big news and great projects that you guys need to be aware of. And then we have, at the end of the week, we also put out another video, which is kind of more educational focused and goes from everything from explaining to you what WAGMI and LFG and all the different lingo means in the space, all the way through to, you know, really sell out your project in 90 minutes, and speaking to inspiring creators in the space as well, and how they've documented their journey and how they've really created such success for themselves. So it's been fantastic. We have featured Rogue Fox Guild on some of our movers and shakers videos, because we really believe in the project, and we think it's going to be, you know, really huge in the not too distant future. So it's always great to kind of come on here and support. And I do think that Twitter Spaces are so important for anyone that's unfamiliar with new projects, to really hear from the founders and get that really well-rounded viewpoint as to what the project's all about. And I think you guys, Sylvia and also Anna, just gave a really great insight into what people can expect. So I hope this next round of your mint goes really smoothly and successfully for you guys. I suppose, touching on the topic of inclusivity in this space, I've been in this space tentatively since April or May time last year. So to some extent, I'm kind of considered an OG. I'm certainly one of the, when I joined the space, there wasn't that many women in here talking. We had like Art Chick and Little Miss NFT and a few others that were kind of in and around. And I was trying to really sort of gather information about how to navigate this space, not just as a woman, but just generally. Excuse me, one second. Sorry. And for me, I felt nothing but being embraced by the community. I've let my work speak for itself rather than my gender in this space. And I think, you know, one of the great things about Web3 is that, you know, there is this level of anonymity to a point, and hopefully that does let your work sort of speak for itself. And I've, as the space has evolved and as it's changed, I've seen a lot of people kind of start talking about like what women need to do more, or what people need to do more to kind of help support women in the space. And, you know, some of the stuff has been really positive, and some of the stuff has been a little bit divisive, if I'm totally honest. And from my point of view, I always kind of follow the rules of don't just talk about the change, be the change. And I really try and follow that mindset as much as I can within this space and within any space that I'm in. You know, we as women, and, you know, any sort of other minorities within lots of different areas, always feel like there's more things that can be done. But that has to kind of come back to us really making those changes in the first place as well. And, you know, for me, it's all about celebrating other amazing women in the space. It's about celebrating other amazing creators, no matter what background or where you're from. You know, we're all in it together, because for me, the NFT community really boils down to two words. And I say this time and time again, it boils down to hope, and it boils down to opportunity. And that's something that we collectively all come together on. And that's something that we all share. And, you know, because we're early in this space, and yes, we are still early, we, you know, can really embrace that. And if we all support each other and make everyone feel included in this space, and onboard people into this space in the right way, and diffuse any sort of naysaying from hearing this space being called a cult or a Ponzi scheme or anything like that, you know, we will all thrive in this space a lot more. and we will be able to educate people in the right way, and we'll all be able to really rise to, you know, huge opportunities for each and every one of us if we do that together. So I hope that's kind of a nice little insight for you, Anna, and just my 2 pennies worth, I suppose, as well.
Yeah, I absolutely love it, Bex. Thank you for that. Yeah, I would say hope and opportunity are keywords, and I do think that NFTs can give great opportunities to smaller players as of now, right? To express themselves, but also to get to the next stage. And for me, it's always about that. It's about inclusivity, including the many, not the few. You know, this is this best, but it's the labor saying, right? But it's
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
a
and
good
also
saying, right?
it's a really good saying. And also, just to reiterate this for anyone who kind of feels a bit nervous about this space or is new to this space or whatever, it doesn't matter if on Instagram or TikTok or wherever you had 100,000 or 1 million followers. When you come into the NFT space, you come into this on a level playing field. All of us have had to come in and build our communities and build our followings from zero, pretty much, because it's such a new space. So we all have the same opportunity. It's how you embrace that and how you move that forwards. And what, you know, you don't have to be some huge influencer outside to have cut through within this space. You just have to have dedication, drive, the right projects, the right attitude, and you guys will all thrive. So that's why I love this space so much.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think we're all here to do that, and help one another to doing that. And I love this. Like on our part, we can admit when we were not super influencers, right? We're starting from Sylvia and I were starting from not such a great, such a large audience, right? But we had, because we spent so many years, working, and we spend less time kind of on social media, which is kind of our problem, right? But now we have an opportunity to connect, and actually, I've been super enjoying linking with people personally, one to one, and making those friendships, as well as obviously just posting on social media. It's about just linking with people. So yeah, I suppose at this point maybe we can move to the introduce some other projects, and I think we've got a great intro about opportunity. I think here is Angel Alliance NFT, Maddie from Angel Alliance NFT. So I love what they're doing, and let's hear how they're helping women in this space.
Hi, Anna. Thank you so much for having me here. And I'm sorry, I'm like about to lose my voice, and this is not the day that you're meant to lose your voice. But also, Bex, I love what you just said about like the way that I always speak about being underrepresented in certain spaces. You almost have to like understand it, but then own it in a sense, and not let it hold you back at all. So I really, really resonated with what you said, and I just wanted to say that quickly. But yeah, so hi everyone, my name is Maddie. My background is I've started my own business in the past. I'm now working for a VC firm as an advisor. I was a VC analyst, so very, very exciting. And I get to focus more on Angel Alliance, which is incredible. And essentially, Angel Alliance, our mission is to fund, educate, and connect female entrepreneurs. So, like I said, with my background, I'm very, very involved in entrepreneurship. And one thing that kept kind of coming up is a lack of female representation. And then if you dive into the numbers of it, like last year in the UK, 1% of VC funding went to women. And the thing is, everyone always speaks about, the gender pay gap being nearly equal, but then no one speaks about the funding gap. And I like that number blew my mind. And I was like, okay, let me see what I can do. How can I figure it out? I wanted to do something about it. And I got into NFTs around August time, and I was just, following in the in like the backseat, I guess. And I saw all these incredible women projects, and the community that they had built around them was honestly amazing. And I guess I envisioned myself building something similar, and I guess that's what Angel Alliance is to me. And so Angel Alliance will function as a DAO, and female founders pitch their startups to the DAO, and then our DAO will vote for who we're going to fund. So it's quite a unique model, and hopefully will be quite popular. But then once we fund these startups, I don't just want to give them the money and like leave them to it. We're partnering with an incubator. So they'll be taken through their incubator program and matched with a mentor and all these amazing things, because we want them to have as much support as possible. And as well as this, we'll be doing a lot of networking events and educational events. So yeah, very, very exciting. And I guess within the community, we'll have like both men and women, because I think it's, to create change, everyone needs to be part of the conversation. You can't exclude a certain gender. And I really do believe that. But yeah, that's a very, very brief introduction of what we're doing. But I am very, very excited. And I hope we can raise some awareness around the issues that female entrepreneurs face.
Wow, that's great. Thank you, Maddie. Yeah, I personally can relate to that a lot. I've been in the startup world since 2017, 2016, actually. And I've seen this firsthand, going to meetings and with VCs and even people looking down at you, and things like that. It's a long topic, but I love what you're doing, and it's true. Less than 1% or around 1 up to 2%, I don't know. Very little goes to female founded startups, and that number doesn't change significantly, right? You think that it's an upward trend, but it doesn't. So hello, NFTs, now we can change this, right? This is what we're all about. I think with NFTs, it's obviously a way to get funding and for your project, and it's more like a crowdfunding. But for me, it's like removing the bias, right? It's like when you go into a VC room full of men, there is a lot of bias. And I think with the NFT space, you're looking at community and you're looking at thousands of people, and that's what really opens those opportunities, I think, in my opinion. Okay, so yeah, I think we have quite a few other projects that are really doing that as well with their NFT collections. So I would like to hear from Ankita from Cosmos Cyber, because I love what you guys doing. I think you want to get into gaming as well, right? Or at least you want to get your avatars into some games. So would love to hear what you're up to.
Hello, and thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate that. Hi, everyone. My name is Ankita. I am the founder of Cyber Cosmos World. So, we are on a mission to increase the representation of women in tech careers. I run a business. I'm full time with my business. It's a cybersecurity company. But when I started my journey and when I started to look for opportunities to enter tech, it was really, really hard. I'm really fortunate and lucky, but I have to work really hard to be able to, where I am today. It wasn't easy. So I understand the struggles that a woman has to go through when she's looking for funding and resources and mentorship just to get that first opportunity. So when I was introduced to NFTs, I was like, wow, this is an amazing technology. It is a combination of art and technology both. So, I came up with this idea that I should create a platform, and NFTs was the right thing to do, because it's just it just opens door to so many things. I think NFTs and Web3, the opportunities are really endless. But yeah, touched upon the gaming thing. So we recently partnered with Kitty Inu Token, if you've heard of them. So they're building a kitty card game. So we've officially partnered with them. What that means for our community is that every holder will get a 3D model airdropped, and they can take their NFTs into this free to play and play to earn game, which is Kitty Card.
That sounds exciting. And are you looking for collaboration perhaps with other projects? Because it seems like there is a lot of alignment. Of course, we'll talk about this. Would love to collaborate. But
Yes,
I think this is the
absolutely.
place
I
to
would
ask. Mhm.
anyone who's listening to me and would be interested in what we're doing and sort of collaborate. I'm more than happy to have a chat with you. My DMs are open. So yeah, let's talk more about that.
Awesome, awesome, great. That's great to hear. I love your project. So I would love to hear more from Alisa from Crypto Beach NFT as well. So hi, Alisa. How are you
Hi,
doing?
hi. Yeah, good. Harry, thank you guys so much for having me. I really appreciate it. Happy International Women's Day to everybody. My name's Alyssa. I am one of the co-founders of CryptoVitch NFTs. Our project, our collection is I know bitch is a strong word for a lot of people, but we actually want to flip that on its head and make it more of a positive statement. So Crypto Bitches is basically a diverse and inclusive home for our members to connect, learn, create, make an impact, and flourish. So what we really want to do is embrace, a diverse group of people. It doesn't have to be men, women, trans, binary, everything inclusive. We basically want to empower you to go after what you want. And that is what our community is about. We want to help you grow and support you with your entrepreneurial endeavors, creative endeavors, whether you're trying to start a business or be an artist or just want to get more education in this space. We found that it was really difficult. I got into this space in October, and my co-founder, she actually works for an NFT company currently doing operations. So she got in the space earlier than I did. But what we found, just as women, is there is education out there already, but it's not necessarily fully transparent, and there are people who will leave out different pieces of the puzzle and not help you grow. And that's what we didn't want. We wanted to make sure that, like, you coming in, as Beck says, it's an equal opportunity for everybody. It's a level playing field. It shouldn't matter who you are or where you come from. If you have an idea and you want to pursue it, we want to be that support system for you and help you flourish, especially in your entrepreneurial endeavors. We as women of color already have these stacks of walls against us, and we just want to say, forget the stacks. I don't care. I don't care about the stacks over there. I'm going to knock them down. And that is what we propose doing, and we chose Crypto Bitches because it's strong, and we wanted to change, the narrative of all of these labels that women get chosen all the time. Are you a bad bitch? Are you a basic bitch? Are you a bossy bitch? And it's like, I don't care. That's exactly, own who you are, empower who you are. If you want to run a company, yeah, you're a boss bitch. Be it, own it, do it. That's basically what we're saying, and trying to pros into this world and help other people who want to grow as well.
That's super cool. Yeah, of course, of course. Sometimes it's all about confidence. This is what I found, and because I also mentor and coach some people and women, but it's at the end of the day, a lot of the business world, and I think in the NFT world as well, comes to, do you have the confidence, right? And I really hate to see when people don't and just have to, especially talented people, right? That produce a lot of great work but just left to be intimidated by, going back to the previous topic, for example, by the bias that can exist. And to be honest, it goes either way. It's not just bias is a bad thing, so it can go for to anyone, right? Not just certain types of people. But yeah, at this point, I just want to open the floor. Are there any questions to the speakers that have just introduced themselves? We have a few more introductions to make, and then I'll open the floor to people in the audience. But are there any pressing questions to Bex, to Alyssa, to Ankita, to Maddie?
Pressing is a strong word, I guess. Yeah.
Absolutely. And yeah, I think we had Anita here as well, but yeah, I think we can move on to just a few more intros, and then I really wanted to talk about more that broadly about the topic. But yeah, so we've got Gimme Gargoyles. I don't have your name, Gimme, and I did check on the website, so feel free to introduce yourself. I love your Gimme Gargoyles because their artwork is just so crazy. I love it. And I know that you're a small team, if not a one woman founder. So yeah, I'd love to hear more about how you're doing.
One woman army, I guess.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, thanks, Anna. Yeah, I am Gimme. I'm the founder, artist, game designer, UX and UI designer at Gimme Gargoyles, which is a collection of 888 cute gargoyle characters who are your playable characters in Gimme Castle, which is, if you've ever played Neopets or Club Penguin or Animal Jam or Moshi Monsters or any of these games, then it's a game like that. It's full of mini games, activities. You've got your own little room to decorate with your little gargoyle furniture, and so yeah, that's the project I'm working on. It is extremely small team. It's pretty much me, a dev, and an animator on and off. So yeah, just building the game that I want to play, to be honest with you. But just wanted to and just to finish off like my introduction, I've been a game designer for like 13 years. I've done a lot of work with Disney, Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, a lot of kids brands, fun stuff like that, as well as like gamified experiences for education, B2B, healthcare, and fitness. But I just really wanted to touch on a couple of things that some of the speakers have said already. I found it interesting how Sylvia said that International Women's Day is quite big in Bulgaria, because I would say, Bex and the Brits that I hear might have an opinion on this, but I don't feel like it's a big deal over here. And I think that's probably because we have really quite strong equality already. And maybe that's easier to take it for granted. So my heritage is mixed British and Syrian. So I've experienced a culture with much less equality, let's put it that way. So I'm grateful every day that I was, that I live and work and build my life in the UK, because I know that if my life had been in Syria or in Saudi, where my dad now lives, like it would be very fucking different and not in a good way. And I also wanted to just touch on what Beck said about letting your work speak for itself, because I just think that's bang on. I'm a games dev, I'm a bodybuilder, I did a lot of martial arts growing up, so I spent a lot of time in basically male dominated spaces. But honestly, in every case, we're all there with a shared interest. My gender is the least interesting thing about me, and I haven't had that many problems being in those spaces as a female, like maybe a handful. But again, I think that's a perk of living in the UK and having my life here. Also, I'm like, maybe it's a bit of a personality thing, because I'm not exactly a shrinking violet, but it's just interesting to hear other people's experiences who are from other places. I just think it's so interesting. But on the whole, my opinion on it is, I just want to get on with building my vision and making a game and playing with little gargoyles in a castle.
I love you. I absolutely adore you. I must say, I just from my perspective, from being a creative, I absolutely adore this idea, of tough women, making everything. And you got me off guard with the bodybuilding part. I have to work in that direction, to be honest. But absolutely, it's just amazing to be this free person and have this opportunity to explore everything you want in your life, and to be able to make this cute, awesomely appealing art as well. So I mean, it's just, the space is also lovely from the perspective that it gets people together from all around the world, and you can experience this absolutely diverse and interesting stories going around, and get to know the people. So this is something that's absolutely incredible to be able to share. And I think, inclusivity comes from there, essentially, to be able to talk with the people and to see that we have so many things in common, and we have these interesting things that we can learn from each other. So yes, kudos to you.
Oh, I completely agree. And I think, again, on days like this, especially when it kind of is brought into your attention more, I just feel so grateful to be here and live freely, like as freely as it's possible to live. That's how I live. And it could have been so different. So yeah, I completely agree. And, with regards to inclusivity and kind of partners to that diversity, the more freedom people have with their lives, the more diverse they become, because they can just express themselves as they are, and they've got the freedom to do so. And then you have more diverse people, and that makes just everything more interesting. So I totally agree.
Amazing. Oh my God. I loved hearing your story, and I didn't know the details. I mean, I knew that you're working so hard and I was admiring you, like what you're doing, but I didn't know your personal story. So thank you for that. It's great to hear. And I'd love to collaborate as well, on, if we can do something together with our games and the experiences. I've told this before, but I think foxes will like the gargoyles. I can sense it, right? I can sense it, you know. I see some friendship going in there for sure. Amazing.
Totally.
But
By the way, Anna, about that, let's talk afterwards because I do have an idea for you and I want to see what you think.
woohoo! Yes, let's do it. Yeah. Yeah. I'll get in touch. Yeah. We're minting today, just to remind, but it's a bit hectic. But I'll just drop you the DM at some point, and let's arrange a meeting. Yeah, that's great to hear. Yeah. So we have a couple more people joining in. So I just wanted to give a shout out to Sad Clowns Collective. And then we have Boba and Boba NFTs and Sophia the cat who just joined us to talk as well. But let's finish with the introductions quick. So we have Side Clowns Collective and then we have Seal Club. So hi Side Clowns, how are you doing?
Hi, Anna. Thank you so much for having me here. It's so great to see all these amazing projects and hearing updates and everything from everyone. It's so nice. And so seeing Bex and Warren as well. The first people I met in the NFT world, really. So yeah, it's really nice. To give you a background, my name is Belle, by the way. I am the artist and co-founder of Sad Clown Collective. The artwork was inspired by my boyfriend's great uncle, who was a painter called Ken Maroney, and he painted loads of sad clowns. And I just absolutely fell in love with them, and I wanted to kind of bring that into my artwork and have a play with it and go from there. Our collection is all about mental health, and we wanted to look at ways that we could really make an impact on a smaller scale, if you will. So in addition to things like donating to charity and hosting events, we wanted to really look at how can we make an impact on people's everyday lives? Like, how can we help to make people feel a little bit better? And none of us are actual mental health professionals. It's not my place to start trying to give therapy or anything to people, but we thought about how mental health is still very much a difficult subject to talk about. It's sort of acknowledged in the fact that people will say mental health matters. If you then try and talk about your own feelings or experiences, it is so hard, and it's hard to know where you've got a safe space to be able to do that. So what we do, we've created that safe space in our server, and we are working on building it up so that we can help normalize the conversation and help get people the actual help that they need and point them in the right direction, and just having an opportunity to talk about your feelings can have such a huge impact and make such a massive difference and help you to gain perspective, and it's just got so many benefits, and it is the first step, and it is really hard. So we feel really strongly about it, and we're looking at a bunch of collaborations with other projects that feel the same way, with that sort of mental health aspect. And yeah, that's sort of the project side. For me as a woman in the space, I come from a background of working in IT. So I was working in software support for like 5 years, and I always found it really tough. It's really male dominated, and the general tone of that industry feels like you're in the 60s or 70s, and it shocked me a lot at first, especially sort of going off what Gargoyles was saying, that you think actually in this country it's not as bad as some other countries, but as an industry tech is not nice to women. So I kind of got used to that feeling of I need to work so much harder to prove myself. There aren't many other women out there or working closely with me. So I've got to kind of just rep my gender myself. I've got to just push through it and just accept that. So that was kind of my attitude. I guess I'd really ingrained it in myself because I didn't notice when I got into the NFT world that it was so male dominated. It didn't register with me until I started to see the conversation more, and I was like, oh, actually, yeah, I can't believe I didn't even notice it. And I am very, very grateful to have been able to find a bunch of amazing female-led projects where we all help boost each other. And I think regardless of what gender you are, regardless of anything like that, like Beck said, in this space, you need to look after each other. You need to pump each other up and not, belittle people or oh, you're a small project, we're not going to help, none of that. You just help people. And you do see a lot of that in the NFT world. And yeah, that's what we're about as well. So yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. I totally support you. And I've experienced this. I know exactly what you mean. So yeah, I do think it's not about giving in, it's about just obviously going back to the confidence and kind of the support. Confidence comes when you have support network. I think this is something that we should not acknowledge. We should acknowledge. I mean, on the topic of bigger projects supporting smaller, I just want to say again, kudos to a few of the projects here in this space that joined this space, right? Because I did message some bigger projects today, and just generally about collaboration, and the answer was no, because the crazy thing is, right, there is my message was, we're a female-led project, we're doing play to earn gaming. It's not really often that you see this as much, right? And it definitely straight away it was like, well, sorry, but we're at the capacity. So I'm thinking it was just interesting to see. So I think together, let's say smaller projects, 3 to 5K members each, I don't know, up to 2K, 10K, we get 10 of us, right? We'll probably be stronger than certain projects that have 100K members, right? But I do find it a little bit hypocritical to say that you're supporting women, but once you hit a certain number, maybe, well, okay, we're too small to work with you. So that's why, I think, and I invited you all. I didn't look at your numbers, and it's about, let's support one another. That was my thinking anyway. So thank you for that. I really want to hear from Seal Club because, I haven't heard from you in a while. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm good, thank you. Is the sound okay?
Yeah,
Perfect,
yeah.
Oh, good. Okay, great. Well, yeah, thanks for having me on. I'm an illustrator and the owner artist for Seal Club. It's just my project. So I've got 100 seals, and yeah, we're basically like art based, and have like small charitable goals, and kind of at the minute working on thinking of just ways to offer more to people, than it kind of just keeping it within like what I can offer with my skills, and building the community and stuff like that. So that's my project. And I guess I'm kind of here to listen, kind of. I'm just interested to hear like what people have to say. In my day job, I sort of work alone, and in Seal Club, I also work alone, so I don't have like probably the NFT space is the biggest main experience I have of like being part of a community. So I'm just interested to know about other people's experiences. Mine has been like overwhelmingly positive, and a bit like Gimme said, I haven't really encountered much like gender-based kind of issues or anything. So yeah, but I know it's there, and just want to learn. Thank you.
Thank you. I think I love what you said about obviously what is the value that you can bring, and I think this is something that we should all think about, right? What is the value that we can bring to one another, right? You're an artist. Some others here in this space may be marketers. How can we support one another? Maybe some other people want to launch their own projects. Bex here has a large audience of followers and network. Maybe she can help with that, right? We've got Ryan from Etamon, and he's into he has the great community and large community of play to earn gamers, right? So it's about what can people help one another with in the best capacity. And I think this is what the NFT space and the Web3 space in general is about. How can you provide value and not just seek value, right? It's like, how can I provide value? So I love that. So please, guys, if you have any idea of how you can provide value to one another, and I did say, guys, as a general term, because it's not appropriate.
Here we go.
People. Okay.
Absolutely. I think Bex wants to add to that, I'm feeling.
Yeah, I do actually. I've heard some amazing, incredible speakers, some of which have already been on my spaces that I host before, but I would like to extend an invite to our wonderful speakers here today, that if you do want to kind of get the word out a little bit more, I do run a Monday space, and we take on a couple of projects each week, and really sort of deep dive into those projects and give them more than just the usual couple of minutes that some shill channels give. But we run that at 6:30 p.m. every Monday on the Nifty World Spaces, and I would love to, if you guys drop me a DM if you're interested in featuring on it, come and listen to the previous recording. I think we had about 140 people in the space last night, which was awesome to really sort of get the word out for new projects. And it really is a space that kind of helps new people into the space discover great projects that maybe haven't been speaking on a space before, or haven't really been able to get the word out. And I think this is something that's really unique to the NFT community. And I often talk about this in the way that if you're involved in like stocks and shares or cryptocurrency, you feel very siloed because you're just looking at graphs and you're trying to work that out. And the thing that makes the NFT space different is that if you're going to invest as a buyer in NFTs, we have platforms and capabilities where and people like myself who will host these things that then allow you to really speak as a founder and get your message out there, and learn from a group of experts as well who form part of the panel on my spaces, to get critique to really help you and to really steer you in the right direction, because they're founders from projects that have sold out or have been advising in the space as NFT consultants for a number of months and things like that. So if anyone does want to reach out and drop me a DM and I can schedule you guys in to come and speak on the space over the next few weeks, I'd be more than happy to.
I'll take this opportunity if I were you guys. So yeah, thank you, Bex, for offering this. This is great. I'd love to connect. So yeah, we have a couple more people. Ankita, did you want to say something? We've got a couple of raised hands.
Thank you so much, Bex, for sharing that. I've just sent you a DM.
And Alisa? Oh, perhaps we have the same.
Sorry, guys, the audio keeps going in and out. Can you ask that again?
Did you want us to add something? So Bex was talking about essentially if people want to get in touch and DM her for appearances in the Twitter spaces that she's hosting.
Yeah, absolutely, Bex. That was amazing. I'm sending you a DM as we speak. But to add to that, I just thank you all for joining here today. I absolutely loved hearing about all of the different collections and the different ideas that are coming together. If you have any other questions for for me or for Crypto Bitches, there's so much more involved that we would love to answer for you. And I will be messaging each and every one of you to get even more insight. I just have to say, for the seals, I love the seals. I just love seals in general, so I just had to say that. I absolutely think
Thank you.
they're adorable. I'm
The seals.
obsessed.
Thank you so much.
I see a lot of hearts. I think most people love you, Seal. So
Yeah.
lots of people love it.
The seals love you back.
Oh my gosh. I'm like, I'm that person. I'm just like, I'm sorry, I have to say this. I'm obsessed with the seals.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. I just wanted to jump in here and say something that's regarding what here we were talking about, and just the utility of the token seal. I mean, I feel, just reached the point where you get this general understanding that this is the space of the NFTs, and you really have to provide some kind of utility to your NFTs. And we approached our project coming from the charity standpoint as well, really being very artistic, very story driven. And it is about adaptation in the space. And this is something actually that Bex helped us with, and some other projects also, when Anna's been in touch and talking to a lot of people in the space. And you really need to be adaptive. You really need to work with the space. And it's awesome just to be able to have these Twitter spaces as well, and exchange some ideas for collaborations, but also see the people behind the projects, and also see that we are in general facing a lot of the same hardships that one must overcome in the space. So I mean, that's absolutely awesome. And if you have some questions regarding the utility behind your work, we can exchange a few words on that as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think we have few other speaker requests. So I'd love to hear at this point from people in the audience and people that have just added as speakers, and to hear your input as well, guys. So we've had some great projects introducing themselves already. Please follow every single one of them. It's on the obviously the invite list, on the event list. Just to summarize who we had already, and that's the key speakers of this event. It's obviously us, Rock Fox Guild. Sylvia is the artist. So we have Bex from Nifty
Hey,
World,
and my co-founder, come on.
and a co-host as well. Yeah, and the co-founder, I keep forgetting to say that. Indeed, it's about that. Yeah, but I think artist is above co-founder. If anyone can be a co-founder, but can anyone be an artist, right? I mean, come on. So that's where it's coming from in my head. Yeah, so we've got Maddie from Angel Alliance Angel Alliance NFT. We've got Gimme Gargoyles, Gimme from there, Ankita from Cosmos Cyber, Lisa from Crypto Bitch NFT. And yeah, so Sad Clowns Collective, sorry I didn't get your name. I mean, yeah, it's been a while, but yeah, I haven't forgotten your name, I think. Yeah, so let's introduce a couple more people. So we've got Boba NFT, also women-led project, I believe. So how are you doing?
Hi, I'm fine, and you?
Yeah, so did you have any questions to any of the speakers, or anything to add about on the topic we talked about? Obviously, the topic is inclusivity in Web3. Just to remind everyone, we're talking about general inclusivity and perhaps a little bit of our personal experiences in the field.
Yes. I really wanted to thank some of you, Belle from Sad Clone Collective. We only talked by Discord, but what you said and your stories really uh made my mood go up and my mental health also. And so all of your stories are great, and it's good to be part of this community and to really get to know more about uh, every kind of project. So yes, and my name is Eva, by the way.
Hi, Eva. And where are you from?
I'm from France, but I have Chinese origins.
I love it. Yeah, great to see. Welcome to this space. So yeah, do follow Eva on Twitter as well, everyone.
Thank you.
And we just had Anita. Hi, Anita. So it will be good to hear from Anita as well, as she's coming for a little bit different perspective. Actually, a Web3 startup space that where she's a marketing lead. So we've just been talking to Ethereum recently and do collab with them. So it's a little bit different. But Anita, I'd love to hear your perspective as you've been around the Web3 space for a while as well. So what are your thoughts on inclusivity in Web3?
Hey Anna, thank you so much for having me. I am so sorry I'm late to the call. I'm like super late, but I had another call with one of the investors, so that kind of got flashed away. Really awesome to see so many people over here and so many women, especially Happy Women's Day to all of you guys. You wonderful, wonderful people. I'm so proud, to see that so many women are in crypto. I come from India. I am the marketing lead at Ethereum. Ethereum has its headquarters in Dubai, and our founder, CTO, based out of Sydney. So we have a very diverse, I would say, diverse environment that our, project, and it's very fun to work with each one of them. We also have a lot of women. Actually, we have more women in our team than we have men in our team. I think that is one of the good parts about our team. And what I would love to say is that I come from India, and in India, there aren't many women. I would say there are women now getting into Web3 and getting that kind of knowledge. I have myself been very pushy to my friends to get into this thing because it's the next big thing. But I think the best thing that I've done in the last few months is to teach my mom to get into Web3 and taught her everything. She's 50 years old right now, and I have gotten her into Web3, and she's loving it. She's loving the DeFi. She's loving the gamify game free segment of the Web3, and she is literally super excited at 50 years old. She's like, I wish this came earlier in my life, and all of that. I think that is one thing, and I believe that if we keep helping each other, if we keep pushing each other and keep helping each other learn more stuff, grow towards better things, be it metaverse, be it whatever that we know of, and we can teach someone else that, I think that will bring in more and more inclusivity in the Web3. And Web3 in India hasn't developed so much, but our efforts totally are towards that. I do run a workshop just to teach people about cryptocurrencies, about trading, about NFTs and all of that. And I do get, questions one-on-ones with people. All of this is super amazing, that stuff that I do. I'm a core marketing and branding person. So I've been working with a lot of crypto, projects as well. I see a lot of women. Now is the time that now they're joining in. Very, very happy to see all of that growth. Yeah. Thank you.
Absolutely. And I think exactly because the Web3 space is here to stay, right? So it's not about inclusivity in just NFTs, even for me at least. It's about, where it is going, right? And now we are in a position because it's just starting now, right? So we're now in a position to build that base for inclusivity. And I really, really, really love the story about your mom. I'm so pleased. I wish my mom can get into DeFi and stuff and less on Facebook. uh, my mom is Facebook addict, so yeah. I think Bex, you wanted to add something as well.
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of pick up on something that Anita just said about sort of telling her friends and like really pushing, because you're so encouraging about NFTs, really pushing the point and trying to get them into it. I just kind of wanted to kind of put a little word of caution, because in my experience on that, I have had really mixed responses to when I have kind of talked really passionately about the NFT community. I wrote something on Twitter a few weeks ago. I actually had a run-in with someone who really upset me about their response with regards to it, and suggested that actually the way I was speaking was almost cult-like, and and was kind of like, because we're not in a regulated space and things like that, it's really risky and stuff, and it's very there's a real fine balance, I think, about kind of introducing people who are genuinely interested into the space and possibly coming across a bit too salesy to people that really just aren't interested, when all you really want to do is kind of share the passion that you have. And it's just something that I've been quite conscious of, particularly in the last few conversations that I've had, and I've kind of had to put a little bit of a rule amongst myself now with this, where I've kind of had to say, I'll talk about it if asked what I do. I'll talk about it to an extent. And if people are really interested, they'll follow up, but I'm not going to push the point, because it's about sort of self-preservation as well. Like, I love the community and I love the people in here, and and I don't feel that we need to justify our reason for being in this community really beyond kind of the educational piece. But if people just don't, it's not going to be for everyone. And the person that I was speaking to, that I kind of had this run in and works in regulation, is completely the opposite end of the spectrum and cannot see it from my point of view, or our point of view, shall I say, and therefore really struggles with this space, and really it's not for them. And I just thought, when you are doing, when one is doing so well in something and is so passionate about something, you obviously want to share that, and you want to encourage other people so that they can get in, people that you care about, so that they can get in and hopefully prosper from it as well. But it's just not going to be for everyone. So just in case anyone kind of gets a bit of a run in or gets the wrong kind of words said back to them about this, no, it isn't a Ponzi scheme, no, it isn't a cult, it's not, none of that stuff. It's education is the key, but sometimes people just don't want to learn, I suppose.
Oh, I totally agree to what you're saying. Because I do understand this is the kind of approach that we have at times. The only thing different that I have experienced, and I would love to share that, is that I show results, and then I only kind of influence the people who are close to me to get into it in the least riskiest form, right? So my friends, basically, I told them, you know what, you should invest in crypto, and they were like, yeah, but I don't have the money to lose. I was like, okay, fine, then why don't you work in a DAO, get work, make money out of doing the work. Whatever money you make out of it, why don't you then invest? And why don't you then, try out a few DeFi, try out this, try out that? Because I do a lot of it, right? So I've been into this space for the last 3 years, and the people who have known me from the last 3 years, they know how much I've scaled into it, how many crypto projects I work into. And when they see that, yes, you have made something and you have those results, they are told, like, it just, the inclination becomes so natural. It becomes, oh, you have proved it, you have proved the point, and you don't really need to sell it anymore. You are already an influencer for us. Whatever you say, it's we are trying to do that, right? So that is the way you have to become an influencer to do that. And influencing starts not on Twitter, but from your circles that trust you, that like you, And I usually speak on personal branding on my Web2 side. I work with CEOs and co-founders, and I tell them how to do the storytelling so that they are the influencers and people feel, oh, this person is saying the right thing. I should totally, totally do it, because then your storytelling and the way you position yourself as a personal brand helps you sell the thing without even selling it, without even pitching for it, right? You just say, I've done this, and people just follow you. So I agree to what you're saying. I understand where you come from. I just would say that when you're telling the right story, when you're selling the right story, people get sold on the story. People do not get sold on what you're trying to sell. So that becomes easy. You sell without even selling. And yeah, I'm a marketing person, so I can just go on and on about marketing and selling. But I just totally agree to what you're saying. Thank you.
Thank you. I agree with that. Absolutely important. And on the topic of story, I suppose the question is how can we bring storytelling to when it comes to inclusivity, right? It's a little bit of it's a tricky thing to do as well. So I think we have Gimme as well wanting to add something to the conversation. So Gimme, what was your take on NFTs coming as salesy if when you push it and storytelling around NFTs?
Yeah, so I just wanted to chime in because I found that exchange really quite funny in the two different perspectives. I think I came to the conclusion quite early, same as Bex, that I only really mention NFTs when they are brought up by someone else. And then, that's a much more balanced starting point and people don't feel sold to. And I think that was quite an easy instinct for me to arrive to quickly because everything's a cult, right? Anything you're into, anything you're really passionate about, you come across as such a proper robe wearing cult member. It's unbelievable. You get this in fitness, you get this, we are basically the vegans of crypto. Okay, it's you don't need to tell people you're into NFTs, they'll fucking tell you. And it's with what I found on the fitness side of things, okay, I'm really passionate about this really niche sport. You get on stage in your pants, in a brilliant shade of mahogany. It's weird. It's entirely weird. Why would anybody do it? It's insane. You starve yourself to stand in front of strangers in your underwear. But again, I don't put that out there. I let people ask me because otherwise it's freaking weird. And that's how I feel about NFTs. Because once people just see you doing your thing and see that you're really enjoying it, and then once people get to know you and you're not a complete freak, they will become curious and they'll ask you. They're like, oh, so, how do I get jacked arms or whatever the thing is? And then you can share your experience and your passion in a way that has been invited. So I think that's if it's people close to you, obviously it's different. So I finally had the talk with my mother. This is not something I thought I was going to have to come out the closet about, but I did, because I've been kind of alluding to this. Oh, I'm doing a personal project for a few months, which meaning gargoyles. But I wasn't ready to tell her. I thought there'd be some judgment. I just wasn't ready to have that conversation. Anyway, at Christmas, I thought, right, now's the time. If she asks me, I'll tell her. And so she did. She said, so are you ready to tell us what this personal project is? And I said, yeah, okay. I said, do you know what blockchain is? She's like, no. I'm like, do you know what crypto is? And so we went from, that's money laundering. Oh my God, are you a criminal? Are we going to go to jail? You need to get out, all this stuff. And within, it took 4 hours, but within 4 hours, we got from crypto as money laundering, what are you doing, you crim, to do you want to come over and have a launch party for your NFT? And, it was a great transition, but it did take time. And it took obviously that closeness of our bond to allow that to happen, from a position where she was so resistant in the first place. But I think, it can happen. I think the policy of not mentioning it unless asked is probably a good one. But each relationship is a little bit different, and there can be some quite good stories out of it. So there you go. That's my 2 pence.
I wonder if it's quite a British thing, the British cynicism that causes people to kind of be a little bit more sort of apprehensive around this, and to jump to the worst case scenario that you're selling to them, even though one will make the point of, if you get into this space, I make absolutely no no gains from that. It's just to share it. It's kind of the only thing that, yeah, I think it's just a really weird British response. But yeah.
Yeah, just
I
to be
would
super
chime in there.
cynical
Yeah.
about everything. Yeah.
I would chime in there and say it's definitely not just a British response. A lot of people have that similar hesitation and notion that it's going to be all bad and it's all criminal and it's all this and it's all that, or they just don't understand it at all. So curiosity is definitely part of that entire equation. Wait until they're a little bit curious and kind of feel it out before absolutely just diving head first. But once they come to you, then they're ready for the talk, as Kimmy Gargoyles has said.
I reckon once they come to us, they're too late.
I think one really builds that curiosity. And just to be honest, for me, because at the beginning I did struggle with the space, and there are a lot of things in here that we need to fight against. And it is a somewhat open space where a lot of people with different intentions come into. So that's really interesting to see. But one thing that we came to the conclusion in our project at Rock Fox Guild is, you have to set the example, basically. So what you do is you make a good project, a professional, good product that you're putting out there, so people can see that. And on the other side, it's, I think, what Bex said, that you have to step into the idea of educating people in a very curated and honest way, not very intrusive, but just as we are now talking about our experiences about things like this. So you really have to set that example and really put yourself out there. And once people see that, this is the point where the curiosity comes in, and somebody, I don't know, hopefully one day somebody looks at our project and they say, like, I want to be like that. So, I mean, that's like the ultimate goal. This is the way that you can help some person. At least for me, inspiration, that's how it comes. I look at other people and what they're doing, and I have this wonderful feeling that, I want to do something similar. So I guess a few of you also shared that. So that's incredible. And Clown?
Yeah, I just wanted to add and go back to what Bex and Gargoyles were saying. I'm so sorry, I forgot your real name. I'm just going to keep calling you Gargoyles because I'm terrible with names. What you're saying about normies talking to you about NFTs and your experiences with that. And I'm very much the same in that I don't talk to people about it. I don't say about my project. It's just the project. It's nothing else to other people, because they weirdly, anyone that I know, if I talk to them about it, they're right-click enthusiasts or like proper haters. I don't have any of the like the noobs or the people who think that it's money laundering. I've got people who are full on like, what is the point? I don't see the point of any of it. It's also stupid. Like, I don't know if it's the type of people that I know from the work I've come from or what. But I tend not to talk about it either unless someone talks to me, or if I'm thinking, maybe this person is into NFTs and crypto, I might try and drop in something just to see if it's something that they want to talk to me about. Like with family and stuff as well, I don't really talk to them about it. Or if I do, people tend to feel like I am trying to get them to buy my project. It's like I'm not. Like I'm not a not door-to-door salesman. It's cool. I'm just sharing something I'm passionate about with you. Just wanted to share my experience in that. And I don't know how to put my hand down now. I'm really sorry.
Just press it. You press it again.
Thanks.
There you go.
My Twitter is so buggy that I pressed it again and it just does nothing. So I'll leave it there, I guess.
I think, can I just interject really quickly before I forget what I was about to say? Sad Clown, I can't remember your name either, just don't worry about it. I call everybody by their project names anyway. But I also have to remember, and I remind myself when I meet people who are like, oh, that's pointless, blah, blah, blah. That's what I thought when I entered the space. So I'm like a little bit older than most people in the space, right? And so when I first heard of NFTs, I think I read about it on BBC News or some terrible thing. And I was like, oh God, I'm just so ashamed, but I'm going to admit it. I was like, well, but you can just right click save. You know, I was one of those. And I'm like, that's just how it was, because I couldn't, like, you're in, that's the initial reaction is, what is the fucking point? And it was that reaction that made me feel so freaking old. I was like, I need to understand, this is the part, otherwise this is a downhill slope. Otherwise, I'm not going to be understanding what the teenagers are saying. And then I'm going to dye my hair purple. And then I'm going to get 16 cats. And that's going to be it for me. So to prevent the decline into I'm a proper old fogey, I made myself understand NFTs. And then I was like, the more I read and the more I researched, the more I understood. And then the more I understood where it intersected with my experience and my background, and really kind of that perfect collision of opportunity. But I started from a place of, what the fuck is the point of this? This seems gimmicky. This seems faddy. This seems like pointless. So I kind of give people an easier time when they've got that opinion out the gate, because honestly I did as well. And again, you kind of just have to leave them to get curious, and they might come back to you. But I just felt like I had to admit that was what I was like as well.
I don't know, weren't we all? I mean, I was like, what is the point in this? And then you see people getting into something. Isn't it NFTs a bit like tasting some really specific food, and you're like, oh God, should I try that? And then you're seeing that people are actually eating that and they're having fun, so you're kind of tasting it as well, and then you get addicted. So in some sense, I mean, you have to be curious about the world, and it's just another venue where you can go, and obviously it has its own specific thing. So I totally understand where you're coming from, and initially my reaction was the same. And as I read into things, I kind of had a few pointers for myself, thinking, wow, that's cool, how can I work with this? So I mean, people just have to be open-minded and stay curious. And yeah, the world is vast and there is something for everybody, I think.
Absolutely. I think so as well. I think for me, it's quite interesting because there is a gap in this industry, right, between knowledge and not knowledge. What's the opposite of that? So for me, it was also education, right? And I feel, going back to the topic of the day, I think there is definitely a level of that that's kind of focused on certain people and certain, I don't know, even classes, to a point where, okay, crypto has been here for a while, right? But it only hit mainstream, well, now, or should we say last year, right? Until then, there was only focused on certain circles, like the tech circles, which are, like we talked about, is predominantly male. So it's quite interesting that once you remove that barrier, right? Once education is there, that you know what you're doing, you know how to do a wallet, right? You know how to go through these steps. You see how many more people join in, right? So I'm actually up for not just inclusivity in Web3, but accessibility. And how do we make this whole experience smooth? How do we remove the tech jargon out of it all? And I think there's some things to be improved on that. So we have Sophia from Elegant Cats. Hey, Sophia, how are you doing?
Hi everyone. I just have some questions, but before I do that, let me introduce myself because I'm really new. I'm from Turkey and I just launched newly, and my Sophia the Cat collection is basically inspired by um, I'm from Turkey, and you know, if you know, Istanbul's cats are really famous in the um, world, and I wanted to make a connection between the cats' unique wisdom, wise looking with the name Sophia. Sophia means wisdom in Greek, and I just launched in two different chains, and I want to learn about more the utility. And I heard some things about bags. If I'm saying it wrong, but I just want to ask about it. And I was listening everybody, and if you can share anything with the providing utility and what is the 101s, I will be really thankful. And thanks for the space. And it's really nice with being all those powerful women.
Thank you, Sophia. I love what you're doing. Just firstly, I think Bex is off because you were waving. I think Bex. So if that's the case, thank you for being here.
I'm happy. I'm happy to just quickly answer that or give
Oh,
my sort of thought on that, and then I'll have to dart off because it's been an absolute pleasure to be on here. I've just got to go. I've got another meeting in 5 minutes, so apologies. But I've been in touch via DM with some of you guys, which has been great. So lovely to connect with everyone. But Sophia, I'm actually gonna steal this phrase from one of my panelists on my Twitter Spaces, a guy called Lars, who's very very good in this space as an NFT consultant. Utility is really really important because your NFT will be seen as an access token, so it will give the people that buy your NFT access to things that you can provide for them. Now obviously when the Bored Apes launched, and they launched with commercial rights and things like that, that seemed like a huge, like, groundbreaking thing to do in the space, which is great. Things are changing, things are evolving now, and I'm not going to tell you what the right utility is. You've got to find that out for yourself and what you think your community and your customers will want. But what I will say is advice, and this is what's come from my friend and friend in the space, Lars, is you to look at your project is looking at it as a business, and everyone that buys an NFT from you is a shareholder, and you need to be continually delivering for those shareholders as anyone would within a business. And sometimes people kind of forget that, and so don't really think that utilities matter in that way, or to an extent, or they get a bit lazy with their utilities, or they don't really have a detailed roadmap or things like that. Always think of it as a business, and always think that these people have invested in you. They believe in you. They believe in what you're going to give them, and they've parted with their hard-earned cash. So make it worth their while, and you will be really strong for it. And if you are going to do a PFP project with utility, that would be kind of just the general, I suppose, sentiment to take away from it. And that's my two pennies worth. Other people will have different opinions, but I just thought it's a really nice way of rounding it up and kind of putting it into context of how we've been living in our Web 2 world, and moving that same sort of concept and idea and moving it across into Web 3 as well.
amazing. Yeah. And just to add to that, from practical perspective, something that we did last week, for example, really, you can really see the difference, right? We released our NFT avatar and rarity tool, super cool thing. Essentially, you can log in with your NFT on our website, and you can see your Foxy full body waving at you, not really waving yet, but animated, as well as actually be able to see all of your NFTs that you hold in full body in the gaming environment that Sylvia has drawn, the beautiful gaming environment, but also see their properties as well. So the day that we launched this, we had obviously so much excitement and so much positivity, but we also got a rise in the floor price, right? These are technical details, but when you're doing a larger collection, this matters. So even I was a bit surprised to see the impact of such a thing, of actually people seeing that you're using your NFT. They can log in on your website. Obviously, they can see rarities, but it's a real thing. All right, it starts to have a life on its own. So it really opens people into kind of buying into this for the long term. So it becomes more than just a picture, and it becomes more a thing, right? A utility token, what it's supposed to be. So it's quite interesting. And some other things that we've done in that topic is getting the NFTs in a metaverse. And I think that's a route, obviously, that all of you can explore, right? Like getting your PFPs and integrating in a game, what we talked with Gimme earlier, integrating with the game, integrating with the metaverse. So it's like they can use their NFT in that space. Yeah, so there is lots. This is a long topic, I think, around that. But I'm happy to talk to you, each of you individually, if you want some thoughts around that as well. Really, but it's really important to have that utility of some sort. That's just an example.
I'm going to actually just interject with a slightly different opinion, because utility is required if you're doing like a 5 to 10,000 to 20,000 PFP project or whatever. If you're a one-of-one artist and it's not your intention, it's not your vision to have utility associated with it, you don't have to. If you just want to create individual pieces of art or small collections of art for art's sake, just be really upfront with your potential collectors about that. Because you don't want to go down this road. I know that Kid 8 did a Medium post recently about getting really burnt out and really quite in poor mental health because he just wanted to be an artist making art for a small collection of cool people, and then he sort of got like semi-bullied into doing this generative project, and then there was a whole heap of expectations and a very different audience who came along, who were very concerned with the floor price, who were very concerned with utility, very concerned with flipping. And he's just like, oh shit, this isn't what I wanted, and went to quite a dark place. And I mean, we're talking about Kid 8 here, not like some random really tiny artist, and he got himself into a state. So it's different for projects that are PFPs. It's different for projects that are games. Obviously our utility is built into what we're doing. We're making games or whatever. But if it's not in your vision, and if it's not going to make you happy and fulfilled as an artist, you don't have to have heaps of utility in your piece. It can just be art for art's sake. There is nothing wrong with that. But I think that the key thing about it is to really, for you to understand what you want out of your project, and also to understand that if it is going to be art for art's sake, it has to be priced slightly differently and things like that. So it's just about you establishing what you want to do, and then not being bullied into doing something that you don't want to do and doesn't suit your vision, because we are all here to be free, be creatively free, and do the thing we really want to do. So I think I would just encourage you to have a think about what you want out of your project, and then just do that. And if it changes down the line, then it changes down the line. But it's very difficult to pull back from utility you've promised. So you're better off not going with it unless you're 100% sure. I mean, take Seal Club, for example. I don't collect seals because I expect any kind of utility and this, that. And I know Seal's got a roadmap, and that's like adorable. I love the charity side of it, actually. That's really cool. But I collect seals because they're fucking amazing and because I love Seal. She's a great human being. And that is the utility for me. I don't need or want any more than that. So I think just, be honest with yourself. Don't feel like you have to do anything you don't want to do. That said, if you are doing a 10k PFP project, what Bex said and what the Rogue Foxes said are perfect. but I just wanted to put that in there.
Yeah, absolutely. I just wanted to add a little bit on that. As I said, for me, it's absolutely crucial to be honest with yourself and to have a good balance with the space and what you're doing there. And one thing we really off the bat realized, these are long-term projects. If you want to do something that is good, that is something that you feel happy with, and or if it's a utility-based project and you want to deliver to your community, it will be months and months, if not years and years, and you go down this road of working with your project. So you have to build a good relationship with it. And as I said, it is a trial and error thing in some cases, but as you go down the road, I think the most important thing is to really be be honest with yourself about the thing that you are doing. And it is a community thing. It is about taking care of your community and building a good community and an honest community as well. So going back to the topic that we had before, this is something that I really did not appreciate with as I was learning about NFTs, is what the media did to the space, like right off the bat, and the talks that we had. Bex mentioned that the space is changing, it is developing, and people are quite generally getting more open-minded about this. But really, if you talk to somebody about this, it's off the bat, the media didn't do justice to the space, and it's out for the scandal, it's out for the whoever bought something, a piece of JPEG for 3 million or something like this. And really, the overview of the space never talks about the community and how you build a community. If you look at some overviews of the NFT space, let's say on YouTube, or you read articles, still to this day, people are talking about tax evasions, about the scandal behind NFTs, about the looting there, but nobody is actually talking about how hard it is to build a good community and really have people and really educate people and work with them and build this happy space where you have people who are really passionate about your project and you support each other. So I think this goes back to everything we've basically talked about. So and it is a thing of inclusivity in the space. And I would just wanted to say in that direction that give a shout out to all of our members here who are listening, and there are some incredible people that we have in our space. And just coming back to the topic of the day, we have just so many people from around the world, and when they mint their foxies, we had this storytelling competition, and people just went ahead and everybody decided, like, wow, my fox is a female, or she's this super swift ninja or something like this. And they kind of came up with this, actually, to be honest, this really inclusive, really nice stories of the background of the foxes that we have. So just seeing this community that we've built and just looking at how well it's developed, I'm just super happy with everything, and I'm really super hopeful for the space and for our project as well.
That's great to hear different thoughts on this topic, and I agree with Gimme that yeah, it depends on the purpose, I suppose. From my perspective, I was talking about a larger project when you are working on a collection and you have to deliver like a long-term project here. But yes, I think the utility is one of the sensitive topics of NFTs as well. Yeah, I think going back to the community, I also want to iterate what Sylvia was saying around building a long-term community as well, and we're lucky to have that, right? So there is no quick wins. I think for all of you, this is something that I've learned personally with trial and error. I've paid influencers, right? I've wasted money on this, not my personal money as well, when we started thinking that there will be a quick win of getting somebody to promote you and get or mass DMs. I haven't done mass DMs, right? But it's something I actually posted this on LinkedIn today around what to do and what not to do when it comes to marketing, and believing that you can bring a community together by just spamming people is just nonsense, right? How is that going to work? So it's actually hard work to build that organic community, and you have to be there every day, and you have to work really, really hard, one by one, as they say. And unfortunately, there is a lot of scam happening in the space where they approach you, and I've been approached many times by shillers, by promoters, by influencers, by influencer marketers. The list is crazy. But it just never works, right? These people are just selling unorganic posts where they have paid followers, and those paid followers would really not deliver. They're not really like real people, they're just paid to retweet. So I think there is a lot to be said in this area. I just Yeah, I think anyone here that is new to the space by any chance, if you do see new projects kicking off and getting 50,000 members within, let's say, 2 weeks, right? Without seeing anything special with them, but they just suddenly boosted in, know that it's most likely this is paid. Or if they're not paid, they're being incentivized to join this community as well. And that has happened a lot. We've actually seen projects like that, and then that's a sign of a rug pull as well, because it's like boosting the numbers, minting some, and then running away. So yeah, there is a lot to be said in this area. But I suppose we should go back to the inclusivity. So Gimme, what did you add, what did you want to add to this?
Oh yeah, I just wanted to build off what you were saying, actually, in terms of the importance of, because people say community, but I think it's important to be specific about what that means and who you want to attract to your community. Because for my size of project, which is 888, I mean, that's tiny in NFT terms. So for me, I actually I'm quite careful about who I want to attract to my project, because I want gargoyles to go to people who really want them and who want to play the game. So it wouldn't benefit me whatsoever to have loads of people flooding in from somewhere who are just concerned about flipping and what the floor price is. That is just not who I want to attract to my project, and that's not who I want to have in my Discord. And I feel like I've been so lucky because I have attracted the kind of people that I want into my Discord and into my community. And they're just so cool, and they're positive, and they're excited for the game, but they are also chill. They understand it's a very small team. And I do, and I'm kind of doing all the communication and all kind of thing, and just staying really close knit with them, because also when we are all in the castle playing the game, I want us to, like, you're not just a number, this person, you've been interacting with them for months, and it's like a genuine little just extension of the community with loads of fun stuff to do together with people you hopefully consider your friends by then. So I think for larger projects, it's actually trickier because you have to strike that balance between, we need eyeballs on this project. But I think especially if you're like one of one artist, or you have a smaller collection, it behooves you to be a bit careful about who you bring in, and who the kind of attention you're drawing to your project. Because who do you want to speak to in your Discord all day? It's cool people, right? So attract cool people.
100%. Thanks for clarifying that, because that's what we've experienced as well. People that are not committed, the so-called flippers, should we say, fine, absolutely nothing, their community, we have to understand that, but the value is created by people that are just there for the long term and really understand what you're about as well, right? But sometimes this takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. So if somebody comes in day one to your project, they will have to, it will take some time for them to understand how it works and what your values are, I think. So yeah, I think Crypto Bitches, you wanted to add something?
Yeah, just going on the back of all of that, scamming in communities, like it is a very prevalent thing. I can't tell you how many times me and my co-founder sit down weekly and just discuss for our particular roadmap and for our particular community, is Discord even the right platform for us? Are we ready to open a Discord? Are we ready to do that? Because I hear so many horror stories, and I guess I'm the partner that's more like the scaredy one in that sense, where I don't want our community to be infiltrated by by hackers and scammers and things of that nature, and I want to be very protective of the people that come in the space. So if people are building projects and considering, it's definitely something to be mindful of, that there are people in this space that are just out to scam and flip and do things, and it's being mindful of that and what you want to personally attract into your community and what's the right way for you to go about that.
100%. And I just want to give a quick shout out, speaking of moderation and keeping scam out. Actually, our moderators, Tofu is here. Zelda Fan Gaming, please follow. So shout out to everyone in the community that helps, and people that don't as well. Shout out to everyone. But definitely appreciate it. We have to appreciate, obviously, people that help in our communities. Maybe most of us have them, right? People that just want to step up and really want to add value and really believe in you. And I think these people should be really well regarded and appreciated, and because we're lucky to have them, right? You have the good and the bad and the ugly. You have all of this in this space, and that's what I keep seeing every day, the all three, right? But I try to focus on the beautiful, right? And the good. That's because that's the only way to make it, really. Focus on the good things, and not do not think about the bad ones.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess Anna is the good part of our project, and I'm the kick-ass part. Yeah, absolutely. And a shout out to our dear Casey, who is also in the audience. Casey is part of the Rogue Fox Guild team, and she's been helping us out and has really stepped up to the occasion to be part of the team. We love you, Casey. Thank you for everything, and happy International Women's Day to you as well. Um, as we said, we are having our mint. Casey is in the community helping out, preparing things, working on our Twitter, and she's doing all of that while being sick. So that's some devotion you can see there. And yeah, women in the space are absolutely awesome. I have to say that.
Yeah, and thank you again to our speakers. Thank you for coming here today. I think I will open the question for the last maybe 5 to 10 minutes. If anyone here in the audience has some questions, yeah, so we have some foxes around, but yeah, do let us know if you have any questions to any of the speakers. We've been running this for 1 hour 45 minutes, so it's been great Twitter space. Yeah, are there any questions from the audience, or anyone wants to come up to the stage?
They got scared of me talking too much. And as you know, the dynamic is like this. Anna is always saying like, "Oh, you crazy Bulgarian, stop talking all the time," and then I take the floor, and it's totally berserk. Sorry, Anna, I will learn at one point. Yeah, absolutely.
No, I think it's not like that anymore. Actually, I think I don't think you're talking too much. I think that was at the beginning, when I remember we had a couple of meetings or Twitter spaces as well, and we had.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, maybe we should hear about the other person in that meeting, not just to talk about ourselves.
Ladies, to tell you the truth, when you make a project like this with your best friend, at one point you kind of stop talking about the regular things that you talk about, and then it's like, how are you doing? Are you alive? Good. Then when you are alive, let's do this, and then this and that for the project. And it's absolute craziness. And Anna has had a 4.5 hours of sleep. So yeah, thank you, Anna, for working so hard and organizing this space. And it's been absolutely incredible and amazing with all of the speakers here, and yeah, all of you ladies sharing your experiences. And just it I never stop being super surprised, and inspired by all of the ideas that you're bringing to the table, from making what you love, making your art, sharing your story, to making games, or supporting charities, and yeah, absolutely, and making a safe space for people to talk about their mental health and things like this. This is really important.
I also feel really grateful and happy to have met you guys, because I just have so many good friends in this space now. And honestly, like, I don't know if I hadn't met all of you guys and all my other friends in the space. I don't know if I'd still be here. Like, it really makes a difference to have these spaces to talk, you know, in the most face-to-face way that is possible. And it really makes a huge difference to creators as well, because it's like really cool talking to your collectors and talking to kind of those kinds of people. But when you're in a space with other creators who share your values, it's really something special. I really enjoy it.
Thanks, Gimme. Yeah, I think I love what you said there. Let's really support one another, and well, we're glad that we can definitely bring some positivity and kind of encourage you to keep going in some way or another. And yeah, I feel the same. Definitely, these conversations help. Sylvia doesn't like talking about that though, because she says, you know, it should not go into like a support group, not a support. What do you say, Sylvia? Sometimes it just becomes more like.
I don't know. Every time we end the Twitter Spaces, we are talking about the craziness of the NFT space, basically. So, yeah, I think it is tiring, and it's a lot of work. But I'm also really happy to have met a lot of friends, and the way your projects develop, and you are seeing sincerity and honesty in the space. It really means a lot to me, and just seeing some positive examples of what can be done in the space is really, really important. So I'm absolutely excited about our talks and seeing all of your projects and collaborating and having these meetings. So yes, it's very positive, and I kind of leech a bit of everyone's energy from this.
Congratulations, ladies, on your mint. It's so exciting. I can't believe today's your mint day and you're like just going absolutely bananas. I just want to say congratulations.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm like talking and banning people from, our server that are coming
Yeah.
in. So it's
Did you,
crazy.
Gives
did
you
you
such
see?
joy. Get out of here.
Yeah, because there are all these, suddenly there's so many mods that are part of Rogue Fox Guild's team, including one that didn't even bother to call themselves Rogue Fox and just called themselves Roguer Fox. So yeah, it's crazy, right? You get
It's
you
the
get
little
admin
things in life,
support.
though. It's the little things in life, though, that give you such joy.
Okay, so yeah, on that topic, maybe we should wrap it up, and but a reminder to follow every single one from these amazing projects. So who we have left? We have Crypto Bitches, we've got Seal Club, Gimme Gargoyles. We had Bex from NFTs before. We had Cyber Worlds. Anyway, they were obviously in this announcement, so you'll be able to see all those projects and follow them, please. And yeah, let's all connect and see how we can support one another, add some value, right? Whoever with the skill set they've got, some can draw, some can talk, some can market, some cannot do any of that, and are me. No, I'm joking. I can do a little bit of everything, that's the point. But we can really help one another. I'm sure about that.
Anna being
So.
modest, I can say that you can do a lot of things at a very high level, but yeah, absolutely. So yes, thank you very much for participating in the Twitter Spaces. I guess I'll leave it to Anna just to say, for me it was absolute joy meeting all of you. I will follow all of the new people I met today, and yeah, thank you for your kind words.
All right. So yes, that's it from us, guys. Yeah, people. Yeah. So thank you for joining. Really loved everyone. That was one of the best spaces. I think the best one for sure. I think that I've done. So it's been real pleasure to have you here. Thank you for our community, moderators, team members, partners, and everyone that has been around us. And yeah, let us know how we can help you guys. Thank you again. Let's support one another, and happy International Women's Day. Bye from me.
Thank you, guys. This has been so much
Thank
fun.
you.
Thanks for organising. Bye.
Thanks for having me.
Bye
Bye.
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 Bye, everyone.